Welcome. I'm Dr. Erica Suchman, Chairperson of the Committee on Technology Enhanced Education, member of the Education Board and the International Education Committee for the American Society for Microbiology. And today I'd like to talk to you about the MicrobeLibrary and what's in it for you. And I would like to welcome you to today's talk. So, the Education Board for ASM, I want to start by kind of explaining what the Education Board does. We oversee all of the education initiatives for the American Society for Microbiology. It consists of 5 committees, 3 of which we consider pipelines, so it's kind of bringing in new members. So that's the pre-college education, undergraduate education, and graduate education, and then 2 cross-cutting committees that serve all 3 of these communities. That's the Committee on Technology Enhanced Education and the Committee on Minority Education. So this is kind of the layout of how the Education Board works. So you have the chairs of each of the 5 committees, and they will oversee different tasks in each of those committees. And I'm really going to talk today about the Undergraduate Education Committee, which oversees the Conference for Undergraduate Educators, and the Committee on Technology Enhanced Education, which oversees the MicrobeLibrary. So this is the ASM website, and as you can see, I've clicked on the education resources. And you can see that there are resources for students, postdoctoral scientists, undergraduate faculty, and K through 12 teachers. So we have resources for pretty much anybody who'd want to get involved. And some of the things I'd like to talk about, we're going to talk later about the curriculum guidelines that have been developed and are available for you to see what does ASM recommend should be taught in a basic undergraduate microbiology course. But another thing that's available are listservs. And so I'd like to walk you through the process of how you go about signing up for a listserv. And so this is the ASM website. And if you go to professional development and then go down to networks and virtual communities, you will get to the place where you can sign up for listservs. And the MicroEDU is one for microbiology educators to exchange ideas about teaching. So you go to MicroEDU, and then you can come in and you can sign up for lots of different listservs. It's going to ask you to log in. Mine, I'm already logged in because I'm an ASM member and I'm in all the time. And you can see here that these are all the ones that I am currently subscribed for. And if I wanted to subscribe to some more, I would just come over here and I would check on these boxes and I would be able to sign up for those. So you can sign up for the MicroEDU, which you can see has almost 2,000 members. And so if you have a teaching question, you can post it on MicroEDU and get answers from educators all around the world. So this is what the login would look like when you get there. I would ask you to log in, put in your username and password, and then you come in here and you sign up for these things. So the Undergraduate Educators Conference is a yearly 2-day conference. This is run by the Undergraduate Education Committee. It directly precedes the general microbiology meeting, and this is usually the case that it's going to be the 2 days right before the general microbiology meeting, which allows people to get both meetings for one flight. So it kind of makes it easier for people to attend both meetings. It consists of plenary speakers that are going to talk about what's new and going on in the science end of microbiology. And then we'll have working sessions where we work on creating curriculum resources based on the science that we're learning in the plenary talks. There are also concurrent sessions where educators share interesting and innovative things that they're doing in their coursework, and poster sessions for the same reason. So there are ways for you to become a presenter at the meeting if that helps you get funding to attend the meeting. So you can present either concurrent sessions or poster sessions. So the goal of the MicrobeLibrary was really to rethink traditional ways of teaching courses so that we could include more efficient and effective means of educating individuals from diverse learning backgrounds. So traditionally, courses have been taught with a very traditional lecture, and students who do well at that would go on to become professors who would then teach with a very traditional lecture. But education studies show that not everyone learns well that way. So the MicrobeLibrary is really trying to encourage faculty to think about other ways to get all students engaged in learning microbiology. And we wanted to identify a mechanism for faculty and teachers to be able to publish peer-reviewed teaching materials. So this is sponsored by my committee, which used to be called Distance Education, and the name got changed to better reflect what it does. So it's the Committee on Technology Enhanced Education and the Education Board. We also wanted to advance the education strategic boards and serve as a national clearinghouse, and this is very important, of a peer-reviewed materials about microbial world on the World Wide Web. It was really important to us that these be peer-reviewed, and that this would allow people to look at these materials with confidence that they had been reviewed for both their scientific accuracy and their pedagogical soundness. And so we have extensive peer review committees that review all materials that are found on the MicrobeLibrary. It's connected to the ASM core curriculum recommendations, which I alluded to earlier. These are actually developed during the undergraduate education committee meeting by the education community. And it's a guideline of not only what topics, but what skills we think all graduating microbiology majors should have. And so this can be used when you are developing courses to kind of see what is it that the education community agrees on that should be seen in a general microbiology course. It builds upon preliminary work, and most importantly, it's searchable. So the purpose of the library is that it's analogous to an electronic journal of peer-reviewed scientific articles for the research community. It's an electronic journal of peer-reviewed curriculum resources for the teaching community. And this is from a grant that we originally put in 1997 that we used that money to help start the MicrobeLibrary. And so it's going to, some of the less obvious impacts on the profession are that it advances the curriculum recommendations in the profession. It's a way for faculty to demonstrate their work beyond just, I teach a lot of classes. So one can say, I have these publications. So that demonstrates our scholarship of teaching and learning and allows you to have peer-reviewed publications to put on your CV. So this is what the MicrobeLibrary looks like. There are multiple different collections. So we have the gallery, which is all kinds of images, videos, animations that have extensive legends with them. The visual media briefs are pictures of media that are typically used and tests that are typically done in a general microbiology lab. And these go with the laboratory protocols, which are basic protocols for the types of labs one might do in a general microbiology course. New this year, which are currently being developed, are the critical thinking question database and the alternatives to lecture, what we call the MicrobeLibrary TV. So these will be short video clips of people teaching in alternative ways. The critical thinking question database is questions that encourage students to think at a Bloom's level 3 or higher. And they are designed to be used with clickers, or they can be used on examinations. But they're questions that are really more applicable, more critical thinking kinds of questions. And this is currently being developed and being reviewed and should be online this summer. So let's take a look at what the MicrobeLibrary looks like. Maybe not. So here we are at the MicrobeLibrary, and I kind of want to show you how this library is searchable. So you can see over here on the left that we have videos, images, animations, protocols. You can also search things by the areas in the curriculum guidelines. So we've broken them down into these different sections. But let's say, for example, I teach virology. So I want to look at virology stuff. So I put in virus. And I will get everything in the MicrobeLibrary that's virus related. But that's a lot of stuff. So let's say I really only want to look at images of viruses. That will greatly decrease the number of things that I'm going to look at. And so we have all these things now that are images that are virus related. And if I go to, for example, animations, it will be even less. And so we can really narrow down our search of what it is that we are looking for by using that mechanism. So how we can use these in the classroom. So these can be used in classroom presentations, course notes by both faculty and students. I often have students give presentations during class, and I often see images from the MicrobeLibrary. I really impress on them the importance of making sure that they know where their images and materials are coming from so that they know that they're accurate. And so the MicrobeLibrary is somewhere where they can be sure that their images are accurate. They can be used in laboratory manuals, handouts, website, printed materials. Permissions. So materials from the ASM MicrobeLibrary can be used in the following ways without any further permission. So classroom purposes such as faculty presentations and course notes, student presentations and projects, laboratory manuals, handout packets that are assembled by the faculty for a single course and disseminated at cost or for free to the students enrolled in the course by the faculty or a third-party vendor such as the campus bookstore, and lastly, websites for non-commercial educational purposes. If you want to use them for commercial purposes, you need to go through Creative Commons, and then they will tell you what you need to do in order to use those resources. So some of the less obvious accomplishments of the MicrobeLibrary are that when we first started this, we were one of the first searchable databases of images. So we developed the whole submission criteria. We developed an entire review criteria around that, and a whole review process that involves people looking at both scientific and pedagogical soundness. We developed an online reviews via the internet, as well as online submissions. So this really can be a very international place, because people can submit from all over the world online, people can be reviewers from all over the world, and in fact we do that. We have reviewers who are all over the world reviewing at the same time. Everyone's working online, so there's no need to get together, which really allows everyone to be to play a role in this process as both submitters and reviewers. And I'd like to also put in a plug for BEN, which is the Undergraduate Biology Educators Network, and this is another online resource source which has all kinds of biology resources. And ASM has really played a leadership role in helping develop BEN, and they have used a lot of the review and submission process that we have developed for BEN as well. And so if you're looking for things like anatomy and physiology or plant biology, BEN is a fantastic resource for finding those kinds of resources. So things that I've used from the MicrobeLibrary: lots of animations in my lectures in order to get students more involved. I teach a virology course. There's tons of virology animations that I've used to demonstrate concepts such as viral absorption and life cycles. Much easier for students to see it in an animation than it is for them to visualize what I'm trying to draw. Many pictures of microbes that get used in lectures. All of the pictures I used in this talk were from the MicrobeLibrary. There's tons of resources there. So kind of give you a demonstration of how I might use these in my course. So these are images from the MicrobeLibrary. This is shingles, which is caused by a herpes virus. This is chickenpox. So this is a cell infected with chickenpox, showing a very common type of CPE that you see in chickenpox infection. And then this is an animation that I use that shows herpes viruses infecting a cell. And so again, this is far easier for students to visualize than if I tried to draw and explain how this process works. And there's tons of these kinds of animations on the MicrobeLibrary that you can download and put into your lecture. Now, one of the things I would like to show you, when we go here, so let's say you're going to look at an animation. If you go to downloading resources, this is a description of how to download the animations. And most of these animations you will be able to download onto your computer. I have one of the newer operating systems, and the directions that we have right now are not working for me. I cannot capture the animations the way that we're telling you to do it, and we have not been able to figure out how to fix that yet. We're working on that. So some of the animations the newer animations that I want to use, I actually have to link to them, be online, and I link directly to MicrobeLibrary in my lectures, and that has worked really well. But that really depends on how good your internet access is where you're teaching. But if you are on an older operating system, these directions should work very well for you for how to download videos and have them on your computer so that you don't have to link to the internet to see them. So this is what the website that goes with that animation would look like. It's got links to other websites that are related, translations that are available. We used to do a lot of translating, but nowadays there are such good free online translating programs that we aren't doing much of that. We're allowing people to translate it themselves. And then it has a legend that goes with the animation that kind of explains what you're seeing in the animation. So how can you get involved? You can use the materials available at the MicrobeLibrary. You can join the educators listserv and talk with other educators about teaching. You can answer questions, you can ask questions on the listserv, be an active participant. You can submit your visuals or curriculum resources to the MicrobeLibrary. You can become a reviewer. You can provide feedback. On the MicrobeLibrary, we have places to put comments on images or tips and tools on protocols, alternate ways that you've used them or things that you've found that make the protocol work better. We're always looking for participation in these resources. You could submit articles to the Journal of Microbiology and Biology Education about what you're doing in your teaching. You could write reviews of education materials like books or websites. You can attend the Undergraduate Educators Conference. Become a part of the community, either through our online resources or by coming to the meetings. If you have any questions, you can contact me at ericasuchman@collegestate.edu for more information, and I will be hopefully available by Skype for questions here soon. And then these are the authors of all the pictures that I have used in this presentation. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here with you today.